Court is calling 2023 CR 3506, State of Texas versus Desiree Allison Gutierrez. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Wilkins for the state, Your Honor.
Defense?
Christopher Castro for the defense.
Are you Miss Desiree Gutierrez? Ms. Gutierrez, I'm showing you what's entitled Court Admonishments. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
You're charged with the offense of driving while intoxicated with a child under 15. That's a state jail felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 180 days up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, Your Honor.
Showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
According to the plea, the state is requesting that your punishment be assessed at 2 years in the state jail facility. There's a $500 fine. State recommends community supervision, the DWI intervention program, VIP, ignition interlock for half the term of probation. Did you understand that to be your plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense, is that the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, is that the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you outside the plea bargain agreement. The state is requesting that your community supervision be for a term of 4 years. There'll be a TAP evaluation, 120 hours of community service restitution, and 1 year driver's license suspension. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, Your Honor.
Then to the offenses charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State, any evidence?
Your Honor, I submit States Exhibit 1 in the attachments.
No objections.
Court will accept into evidence States Exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing State Exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
None at this time, Your Honor.
All right. Are you employed?
Yes, ma'am.
What do you do?
I'm a sales representative for Taskus.
For what?
For Taskus. It's like a kind of like a call center, but I work in the as a sales representative for a client.
All right. How often do you drink?
Well, that night was like New Year's Eve, but I don't drink that often.
Well, how often is not that often?
I want to say maybe like on like the weekends or like every other weekend.
Do you realize what could have happened in this case?
I feel really guilty about it.
What could have happened in this case? Other than your 4-year-old and 6-year-old being killed, what else could have happened?
I could have hurt somebody else.
Yes. And because what I'm reading here is, first of all, you were driving too fast on Hebner and Vance Jackson. And then you did a wide turn and you drove the wrong way. So at that time of early morning hours, when it's dark out, and I don't know why in San Antonio, there are some places that there are no lights and it's super dark. And somebody else could have been driving and you could have had a head-on collision with them.
Yes, Your Honor.
And then not only did you do that, then you accelerate more, drive in the dirt on a grass median, and almost ran head first into a light post. What were you thinking celebrating New Year's Eve and having a 4-year-old and a 6-year-old out that early morning hours?
I wasn't, Your Honor.
And why would your cousin, because I'm reading this, your cousin allowed you to leave, so surely they could tell that you were intoxicated, or were they intoxicated as well?
I'm not sure, Your Honor.
Let me just explain something to you, and I tell this to people all the time. I don't drink alcohol. I just don't think it tastes well. That's why I don't drink alcohol. But if you have plans where you're going to drink alcohol, I don't care if your plans are to drink one drink at dinner. Always have somebody who's going to be the designated driver. Because when people are intoxicated, their reasoning flies out the window. Everybody who's intoxicated who decides to drive don't think they're intoxicated or think, well, I'm only going 2 blocks. I can make that. You almost killed your children or seriously injured them. You almost killed other people. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is this your first DWI that you've been charged with?
DWI, yes, Your Honor.
I know this, I'm not even going to ask, but I know this is not the first time you've drank and drove. So that's going to have to stop. When you're on probation out of this court, I'm going to follow your agreement, but on probation out of here, and it's throughout Texas, sometimes people think I'm being mean when I tell them you can't drink alcohol on probation. Those are the rules across the board in the state of Texas. If you're on probation, you cannot drink alcohol. Doesn't matter if you're at a barbecue, and I know July 4th is coming up and people think that's an excuse to drink alcohol. You are not allowed to drink alcohol. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
So who's taking care of your children right now?
Their dad.
Okay. All right, this is what the court is going to do. Court is going to sentence you to 2 years in the state jail facility, suspended and probated for 4 years. There's to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person, regular UAs, DWI intervention, VIP, ignition interlock for half the term. I'm going to want a TAP evaluation. And if the TAP evaluation recommends inpatient treatment, we'll start with intensive outpatient treatment. I'm going to want 90 meetings. Have you been doing sober meetings?
Not yet, Your Honor.
All right, I'm going to want 90 meetings in 90 days. 120 hours of community service restitution. I'm going to order parenting classes. And once she completes those parenting classes, the community service hours will be deemed to be completed. And she can do that with rainbows. 1 year driver's license suspension. And probation, we'll do one field visit. And if all seems well, then probation, you can have field visits as many times as you choose. There's going to be a $500 fine that will be probated. Probation, is there anything else she needs? Thank you. Proof of employment within 30 days. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. Is there anything else, probation? Is there anything else you need from the court in order to be successful?
No, Your Honor.
All right, we can go off the record. Here's the thing. When you have children that are the age that you have, everything that they see, they mimic that. And they will now think it's okay. So you need to let them know that you made a bad choice, that it won't happen again, that you're sorry for putting their life in danger. And parenting classes will teach you that.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, because your children are 100% dependent on you. And if something would have happened where you would have killed somebody, who knows, maybe you would have been in prison and your children would have been without you. Or if you would have died, your children would have been without you. Or if your children would have died, you would have been devastated.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. So you're going to do better.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Here's the thing in this court, communication is key. So if there's an issue that you have, ask probation. Probation will work with you. If you feel like probation is not addressing some issue you have, then just come to the court. We're here Monday through Friday. Okay.
Yes, Your Honor.
You have any questions about anything?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Good morning. So are you ready on the motion to revoke?
Well, Judge, I wanted to talk with you about that.
Yes.
So do you have a copy of the motion already?
Yes.
Okay, I got a copy for you.
You mean the copy of the motion to revoke? Yes, I have a copy of the motion to
Okay,
revoke.
perfect. So Judge, we have kind of a unique situation here. I honestly say, I don't think I've ever had it before. She's doing pretty well on her probation, but she has these positive blows. She'd had an accident, not a major accident, and she started having problems with it. And so she had the blows on the 16th of December, and then she on the 17th, which is the last violation, she blew it was a .030 again. So her mom is actually in DWI court and has ignition lock. She knew she hadn't been drinking, so she went over and she blew in her mom's, which came back as 0. I can't get those records yet. I'm gonna go see if I can get those records for you to show that. She also, and I talked to the prosecutor about all this. She also took the car into the installation. People, do you mind if I give her this?
All right, so are y'all ready to go on the motion to
Well,
revoke? Because you all are presenting evidence, so.
Well, Judge, I don't have all the documentation you're gonna want. So, unless you think that you're not gonna need that, she didn't actually violate. She was never drinking, so, but all I have right now is the documentation from the installer indicating what he did in his conversations with the toxolog. I have not been able to get through the toxolog to get their documentation, and nor have I been able to get the toxolog records for her mom, which I think will show, that there really was a problem with the ignition interlock in this situation.
Mhm.
In which case, I think I would request that if the state would, consider withdrawing it, if that is the situation. She's doing well on probation other than that. So, Judge, I guess what I'm saying is, if you think that's enough documentation for that, if you need additional, of which it does exist, then we would need to get a reset to get that documentation. But Judge, in this case, I truly believe my client did not violate at all. So I really I don't want her to have to post a big bond when she's, it was really truly in this situation, a problem with the device. If you want us to go ahead and get the additional documentation, I request if perhaps you might consider withdrawing the warrant and issuing a summons for her to come back. I don't know how you feel about that sort of thing. I've never done that in this court.
Well, have you all conferred on this?
We've conferred on it, Judge, and based on my conversations with Ms. Corley, if she is able to obtain this record from Intoxilock, I believe that they possibly could be exculpatory. And my issue with the evidence that she's provided today, I don't know who that person is. That person has a special relationship with the defendant and it's just putting stuff on the document and just put it on there. So that's why I don't feel comfortable proceeding on a motion right now, but I will agree summons if the court is in.
So with regards to the Intoxilock, is that on the ignition interlock, do they do that by camera?
Yes.
So then if she was blowing in her mom's device, which she shouldn't have, they should have that?
Yes, Judge.
All right, so what's Intoxilock's number?
I can look that up for you, Judge. I don't know if probation has a special contact number, but I'm just looking for the main number.
Any objections to the court calling Intoxilock?
No, Judge.
None from defense.
All right, just have a seat.
Okay, Judge, I have a number for them.
Is it the 88 number?
See, 844-909-2406. That's just the main number.
Mhm.
It's not a special number. But
Okay, all right, just have a seat.
and just so you'll be aware, she had a number of requirements on her probation. She's done the AA meetings, 90 days of the AA,
Okay,
the parenting class, the
All right,
VIP, and
so-
a lifetime.
just have a
Okay.
seat. All right, thanks.
Yes, thanks, Judge. Go ahead.